Namaskaram and hello to Keerthana.
Namaskaram Akka, thank you for having me.
Welcome to Echoes of Jharna.
Lovely, lovely name. Looking forward to talking to you about Jharna.
Yes, let it resound dance and natyam, right? So, how have you been?
All good Akka, all good. It's been 2 years since I premiered my work in Jharna, so it's been a good journey so far.
Super. So, I was, looking at your profile, and it's I think 3 decades of dancing career.
Yes.
2000 you had your Arangetram, and I'm
Yes.
sure you would have been prancing around even before that.
That's not counted.
Yeah, but so that's a lot many years of being in the field and just being associated with this art form. And I also know that you are into music, and you play the veena, and you also experienced classes in Kalari Poet and all that. So at the outset, I'd like to know how all these things really come together for you as a dancer.
So I think Natyam is a coming together of music, of dance, of course, and of life experiences. So anything that we see, we experience, we read, it always influences our dance, if not directly, at least indirectly, even the perspective. Even I think even a rock concert also can teach you so much about showmanship. I remember going to the Coldplay concert. I went all the way to Ahmedabad, and what a theatrical performance it was. And I was like, it should be this kind of an extravagant orchestration of lights and sound and everything for it to be such a wholesome and holistic experience. It was so mind blowing, and I was like, this is what we should try to get into our Natyam also. Like of course, for large productions that we are looking, not like everything. Yeah.
I mean, your passion, or this at what point did you feel you wanted to make it your serious occupation? I won't call it career, because it really doesn't still come under a full paying career like a corporate setup. But when did you make that switch, saying that I want to do this 24/7?
It was a very tough call, and I kept not addressing that for many years. I didn't think that I could go down this road for many things, self-doubt and whatever. And of course, how unorganized this whole industry is. I never wanted to get into it full time, but I think it's a calling. And then there was a time where a good paying job with extremely flexible hours, I loved my job, that was just not satisfying. It was not satiating enough, and I just felt that I have to take a decision right now. My game plan was like, after I'm 30-35, I'll save all my corporate savings and money, and then I'll jump into dancing. But then I had a realization that you'll just be older by then, and the best years to give your career or your profession is when you're young. So then I said, like, let me just go with the flow. If not anything, I can always come back, but I have to give it my all. So I think I was around 26 when I decided, and by the time I quit work and started full time into it, it took me a year. So it was about 27 is when I jumped in completely. But it was a very tough call, because I loved my work also. It was very meaningful for me, and it gave me a lot of perspective. I enjoyed it. I wasn't one of those angry people going to work. So it was very difficult. Yeah. But I think the switch happened more because even with all the flexibility, with all the great work culture that I was part of, I still was feeling like I'm wasting my time. I should be practicing, or I would do so many things just to get to a performance in the evening. So my whole life and my whole day was always scheduled around when I have class or when I have to go for a show. So I was like, it's a no-brainer.
So
definitely.
it seems like you have obviously imbibed your academic qualification and your experience as as being in the corporate into your dance platform too, and how has that been fruitful for you, because
I
you are
think
an organizer of festivals yourself?
I think more than just the organizing of festivals, yes, that requires a certain acumen. But I think even as a profession, I could respect it a lot more only after I started working. I think all dancers, musicians, anyone should just go, and even if it kills them for 1 year, they should do a day job just to
Very interesting.
understand the discipline and the rigor and what it means to be a full
Can we
time.
underline that, the discipline and rigor? Because most often I think dancers think that being in the art field is discipline and rigor, but there is a
Very
sensibility that is very
Yeah.
different, right?
Absolutely. And then that accountability, because here in dance, you're accountable to yourself, maximum you're accountable to your students, and maybe on the performance day to the audience that comes in. So everything, the onus is on you. So I think a proper job when you go log in at 9 and whatever, come out at certain time. So you, that kind of disciplines you, and you have like a goal, you have like a reason, like a purpose. So I think those are the things that I really took into my
I think that's a big
dancing.
takeaway for the youngsters and the people who are now, thinking whether to do it or not to do it. But I think it's a very, very good advice from a very young dancer to the generation to actually go in for a regular 9 to 5 job, and get yourself in order before you can actually
Yeah.
plunge into this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, what has your experience in Jharna been? How should I say? How different has it been, or has it been different?
Of course, like I wanted to be part of Jharna even in the first, the first time that it happened, but I wasn't selected. So I was waiting to be selected.
Okay, so you really worked
yeah,
up for it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So for me, Jharna was a great source of validation. I know we can say many things. You should be you should have self confidence and all that. But for me, the platform of Jharna was extremely validating to put out my own work. I could completely put a new production together, and I had challenged myself, saying that if I can tell a story that is not religious, that is not mythological, what would the themes be? And if I could like have things from different stratas or different classes, if I could represent that, and if I could represent what my current environment, my what I'm seeing around me. So that's how the concept of movements of resistance came to be.
Yeah.
And firstly to have master and akka sit in front of you and even watch anything of your dancing itself is a great achievement. And I was extremely nervous because I didn't know what master would like, and I knew that he's such a purist, but he's very, very open minded, and they liked the performance. They had lots of feedback to give me, and I think for me that has really, really validated my reason to dance, my reason to explore and try to tell new stories.
Lovely.
Uh,
So this movements of resistance, it's almost sounds like an oxymoron. And what has the inspiration been behind even naming it such, and even your physicality in it? What has been the core inspiration?
So the core idea was, can I tell a story to someone who's not religious, who's not spiritual?
Beautiful.
Is my art form only for the ones who pray? Can it be for anybody? Can I use my art form as a language to tell any story?
Very
So
nice.
the starting point was that, and then I picked up one or two themes which I had, which I was experiencing, which I saw around me. Like I live in Mumbai, so we live in a high rise, and immediately outside our window you can see like a small basti, basti slums. So then before the monsoons, all the houses are with blue tarpaulin, those plastic
Yes,
huge
I've
sheets.
seen it.
So when you're in Mumbai, the monsoons are not like 1 hour and all. It lasts for 3-4 months also. So for us, what it might be romantic, but it's traffic or something like that. I'm not getting a cab on time. But for those people, it's an everyday reality where water is seeping into their homes, and like it's a pain. It's really painful. So when one of the monsoons when I saw it, really hurt that I am sitting here in this beautiful house and just having sitting tea and saying, oh, it's a perfect time for pakoda, whereas the person just outside my house is living in quite a horrible situation. It's a hell for them. Those 3-4 months are terrible, and it's not like they can just not go to work because it's their livelihood. So then I wove a story around that. And
So
had a
was
backstory
this
to that.
was this story for Jharna, that the moment you felt you needed to have something for Jharna, that it started coming into you, or was this something that was there in the back of your mind, and Jharna sort of opened a space for
Yeah.
you to actually put it?
More
What-
the latter. So the story was
Okay.
always there, and I had just kind of made the story and also put together the music. But I didn't know whether it makes sense to just present it as just one piece, like instead of a padam.
Mhm.
But then when Jharna happened, then all the vignettes, all those small stories, they kind of came in together nicely. So I had another take on about how everyone has an opinion and it's kind of shoved down your throat, and a majoritarian view of things, and there are power struggles, and you're really trying to fit in but you can't. So that's across classes, across religion. So that was also another piece that I particularly did for Jharna. And because through COVID, this WhatsApp university suddenly became like the be all and end all. We had a lot of misinformation, a lot of propaganda, a lot of things coming and spreading through WhatsApp. So then I used that also as part of the narration for this particular, and this othering of us versus them. We can see that's a very divisive. India has become very
Right.
divisive the last couple of years. So that was a very contemporary political story that I wanted to say through dance, through Natyam. So that
I'm-
came through for
I see that you have also learned a bit of Kathak. Now, I just want to know, does Bharatanatyam as a dance form, okay? I'm not talking ancient or current or anything, but just as a vocabulary. Do you think Bharatanatyam is something that lends itself to these themes that are sort of non-traditional or non-familiar, or as you say, something that does not involve gods and goddesses and things like that? Do you think that it's a medium that is easier to explore?
Yes, of course. I genuinely believe that Bharatanatyam is a language, and a language should and can tell any story. And there is no limitation of the form. If there's any limitation, it's of me as an artist that I'm not able to execute or bring to life what I have in my mind. But I feel my training equips me to tell any story in the way I want to. I feel like the form is limitless. Like there's so much possibility to use the form to tell your story. So I've never felt, that, oh, I'm in a bracket, oh, I can't do this. And genuinely, because the body is trained in Bharatanatyam, I feel it cannot move anywhere else.
Okay.
So I have the belief that whatever I'm doing is stemming out of that particular training. So I can't be too far off anyways.
Right. No, considering a lot of people use modern, contemporary movement patterns in order to be with a contemporary theme or a relevant theme. But you have kept your vocabulary of Bharatanatyam, and in fact, I also know you kept the dance costume pretty much the same. And I remember the comment that
Yes.
Dhananjay sir made, with
Yeah,
regards
he
to
said you should look at experimenting on your costume, but I was
Yes.
I wasn't so
Resistance.
sure. Yeah, I was
Resistance to that.
resisting that. Yes.
But nice, yeah, lovely. And so, can you share a memorable moment that you experienced while on stage, or just before the preparation to the performance in Jharna?
I think I was too nervous and I just wanted to go and present my work. So I don't recall any moment of that sort, but I very vividly remember Satyajit sitting on the lights, and I did like a whole run, and he gave me a few feedback about my positions and stuff like that. So that really felt like a performance, because I was like, finally someone has seen the work, and
Yes.
at whatever I've done it once. So that gave me a lot of confidence and to go all out in the evening.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember the performance, and I think you were very much into it. And do you feel that with a regular performance, this is your work, this is your creation, and it's very different from a traditional format? And do you think the way you connected with this is the same that you would with, or you have with another with the regular format?
Ideally, I think because you tend to practice it so much before you go on stage, so then you're living that story, even if though it's far from your current life or from anything that you are. But I think as actors, you immerse yourself. So every performance, sort of, you feel you're connecting with the Naika, you're connecting with that image of that god or that composition or the music. So it was immersive. But Jharna, what it did to me was more from the outside point of view. I had a lot of people telling me that it was a refreshing content. It was refreshing to see stories that you relate to. So I think that really was the highlight for me. And I had a chance to do the same movements of resistance in Bombay at the NMACC. So there it was really very well taken, and I got lot of feedback from people who generally come for performances and don't understand. So I think that made a world of difference. So
Beautiful.
that is something. Yeah.
Lovely. And you are an organizer of festivals yourself, and you're also in a space like Mumbai where you do get to see a lot. Now, and there are a lot of other organizations that are, coming up with similar ideas of giving opportunities to young dancers, and putting them on a platform. Now, how do you think Jharna is different from that? Is it?
Absolutely, it is. Right from the point of selection till the point of taking feedback post performance, everything was so professionally done. There were Excel sheets, there was Google Docs. I mean, technology to help you make it seamless. I think that's very important, because as a performing artist, especially if you're creating new work, to be seen and to be treated as a professional is important. So I really think Jharna outdoes itself year on year with the promotions, with the way they treat the artists. And see, one is giving a platform, saying come and perform, which many organizations do. But one is coercing the artist to think out of the box, to create, to give them a platform for their own voice. By the time you come to a stage or an age where you can present your own independent thematic work, you're pretty much in your mid-career. You have progressed quite a bit before you actually do that. In such a especially in a place like Chennai. So to have Jharna exist in a Chennai atmosphere, telling you to do something and to do it on your own, minus the teacher's help, that itself is a very big differentiator. And I think that really goes a long way in making a student an artist.
Nice.
Most of us are very good at presenting our teachers' work, and that's what we've been doing for years. But to actually make us speak what we want to, that is a different challenge, and it's very important for us to get that at the right age.
Lovely.
So I think
That's very intuitive, and a feeling, completely with feeling feedback. Because yes, I think to experience yourself as an artist is something by another person with regard to the rest of the aspects of it. So I have a question which is, not related to Jharna as such, but as a dancer, do you think dancers have a similar space as doctors or engineers in society?
Oh, of course not. We are not taken seriously by our own family and peers. So let us not blame anybody else. And I think we also don't treat ourselves as seriously as that. Many a times, if you're married or whatever, your family is, they're always like, so what? Even a doctor gets a day off, don't do this show or don't cancel your tour. So there's that importance is not given to your career because obviously because your economics drives that. So if you're a person that's earning that much money, then you being away from home for say a month or two or even 15 days is completely valid because you're bringing in that kind of money to the family. But since the money that you bring in is so insignificant or is so much lesser than what is the benchmark, then you kind of get to be taken for granted. It's almost like, oh, she's just doing some side hobby, which
But how do
can.
how do you feel as a dancer? I mean, in a sense, because you are in it and you have left something that is high paying, or that you're saying all this is about. But do you feel the contributive nature of a dancer as important as a doctor or engineer in society?
Yes, of course. I think that especially post COVID, no one could survive without music, without art, without movies, without books. So I think that itself tells us that art is a space that is not just recreational and entertainment, but it is also very, very essential for mental and physical well being. So I do think I contribute to the industry, to the world, and also as a teacher, because being a teacher kind of I'm passing on something. I'm making the children more confident and more expressive, and I think I contribute a lot to their overall personality. So of course I feel like I am contributing. My profession is valid and it's contributing, it's making a difference to the world that we live in. But then there also the other flip side is most dancers, musicians, especially in the classical space, they think that they are holier than thou and they're just dropped from heaven, and they take themselves so seriously. So I think that is also a problem where you're like overdoing it. So the line is probably being professional, treating it as a profession, being serious about it, but not thinking and not creating demigods out of your gurus or demigods out of like a performing artist, and just being normal about it. Like every doctor, every engineer is serious about their job. They go to work, they contribute, they do their work, and they talk about it. Sometimes they don't talk about it sometimes, and they live a normal life. So I think as artists also we should aim at being normal about it. It is a profession, it's valid, but that doesn't mean you're godly or you've got like some extra super angelic powers.
So I do see that your art has kept you very, very grounded and in the right space of things. So we are having a rapid fire question. Okay, we'll give you a little more time. Don't worry. Okay. So if you're ready, we can start.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So now, name a movement or gesture that instantly energizes you on stage.
I think the thing where we're going to start either Natya Rampam or that you just collect yourself and you're just ready to pour just before going on
Okay,
stage.
lovely. And one piece of music you can't help but move to, even off stage.
That's a tough one. So many.
Come on.
Rapid fire. Right now it's that Monica.
Wow. Okay. So nothing traditional, huh? Okay. Okay. If you weren't a dancer, what would you be doing right now?
Oh, I would be in office. I would be a researcher with my team. Yes, I would be working.
Okay. One thing you tell yourself before going up on stage.
Just be honest.
Very
Be
good.
honest.
Lovely. And that comes to the end of Echoes of Jharna for now. And thank you very much,
Thank you
Keerthana
so
Ravi.
much, Anu Akka.
And
Thank
it's
you.
been a pleasure knowing you like this, other than on stage and in yoga class.
Yes.
So, all the very best, and
Thank you, Akka.
see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye bye.